Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a tag video. This is the Bougie Guru tag. So I have 11 questions, just finding out and exploring how bougie of a consumer I am. Now, I saw this video being done by DW from Dub's Beauty Diary. I will have her channel listed down below in the description box, as well as the creator of this tag. So if you want to hear all of my answers about luxury, drugstore, and everything in between for beauty products, then make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get into these questions. All right, I don't think there's too much I need to preface in this video. I already talked about the creators that I'm going to link down below. So we're just going to get started with these questions. Like I said, there are 11, and I will have the questions also down in the description box. So question 1 is, would you rather buy one expensive luxury item or buy several items with the same amount of money? Now, this first question, we already jump right into kind of the gray area, because for me, luxury is way over here, like on the scale. Here's drugstore, like I'm thinking Essence, Catrice, and then, Louis Vuitton is here, right? So to me, that question is a little bit hard to answer because I don't want to buy anything Louis Vuitton or anything in that range. I would rather buy 2 or 3 items kind of in this mid-range here than one very expensive luxury item. But I would not, on the flip side, want to buy like 30 Catrice blushes instead of one Louis Vuitton blush, if that's kind of making sense. So I kind of just feel like I'm a little bit in between. I do value a little bit quality over quantity, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. I just don't want like an excess of $2 blushes, because like, why don't I buy $32 blushes instead of a $90 blush? Like that's still, to me, you're still spending $90, but now you have like so much more product. So I also think that's kind of a waste of money. I hope that's making sense already for the first question. Question 2, when it comes to beauty products, do you believe the phrase, you get what you pay for? Definitely not. In some aspects, yes, especially I think a little bit more with skincare, but there's always the exception to the rule. And it doesn't always mean that. I think, again, like personally for me, I kind of like to stay like in that mid-range. But if you do your research and you really are someone who likes to be frugal, like you can find very good beauty products for not that much money that are going to do the same thing as luxury beauty products. Something that I like to keep in mind that's just like a personal story that I feel like can relate is I used to work at Sunglass Hut, which is a sunglass store. And when I worked there a long time, over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, they're owned by the brand Luxottica, and Luxottica pretty much owns like 80% of the glasses market. So you could buy a pair of Prada glasses for $500, a pair of Chanel glasses for $500. It's made in the same factory as Ray-Bans, which are $100. So if you're doing research like that, you can find luxury beauty products, same thing in the beauty industry, that are made in the same factory as drugstore, less expensive beauty products. And most of the time, it's just the name you're paying for, but the formulation is very similar, if not the same. So that's kind of how I look at that. Question 3 is, what's the most expensive beauty item you've ever purchased with your own money? Now, beauty item, I don't know if I want to stick to makeup for this or like a beauty item, because I would say for sure the most expensive beauty item is one of my hair tools. I tend to be a little bit of a loyalist to GHD hair tools, and their hair curlers can be like $300. But I can also say, like, my hair straightener I've had for, again, like 15 years. And it's done me no wrong. It's still going strong. And I feel like that was a good investment. And I feel like it takes good care of my hair. Now, as far as makeup products, there definitely was a time where I used to feel like you get what you pay for, or not even that you get what you pay for. I just kind of almost fell into the status symbol of having luxury products. So I think my most expensive item that I purchased was probably the Chanel Sublimage foundation, which I think is like $150. So, not my best choice, but that would be my answer for that. I could be wrong. Like, I'm not going to go through and really nitpick and find out if there was something I spent $170 on, but I'm pretty positive that's like one of the most expensive products that I've spent. Now, the next question. Question 4. Are you willing to buy products at full price, or do you usually wait for a sale or discount code? 90% of the time, I try and find a discount code. There's usually discount codes floating around everywhere, if not affiliate codes. You can usually find some sort of discount. For me, like, there's not really any rush anymore. I used to be like that first person on the website, making sure that I was buying it, making sure I didn't have FOMO, and I was one of the first people to get it because it could sell out, and I didn't want that to happen. I'm like over that phase in my life. I don't know if I've just gotten older or like wiser with my money, but yeah, I don't normally buy things anymore for full price unless I can get a discount. Like, for example, today I'm actually testing out the Natasha Denona foundation. I'll link that review up above because it should be up already, but I still found like some kind of discount code to get a little bit off. Most of my shopping is online, and then that way you can use a discount code. It's a little bit harder, I think, to find coupons for in-store. So yes, I do wait until I can get some kind of discount on something. Question 5, where do you shop for beauty products the most? This is tough because I live overseas now. I live in France, if you're new to my channel. If not, then you've heard me say that a million and one times. But when I lived in the States, I definitely shopped at Ulta the most because I just find that they have the best point system. Sometimes Sephora, but they don't really have the discounts as much. And I find that like when they do have their VIB sale, it's kind of a ripoff, to be honest. You can find the same discounts on usually the official sites. So a lot of the times here, I am purchasing things through the official brand website. Again, like the Natasha Denona Foundation, I purchase directly through the Natasha Denona website. If I'm purchasing something, it's usually through the website. There is Sephora France here, but I usually don't get a discount from them. So I'm not shopping through their site. For indie websites, again, like still through the brand website, I do shop a lot of indie, which can be quite pricey, and I think can teeter on that luxury price point if you're not careful, but there's usually more affiliate codes for indie brands. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Ulta, but there's no Ulta here, so that's why that question becomes a little bit tricky. Question 6, how often do you get your nails and or hair done? I cut my own hair. I don't dye my hair, so I could not tell you the last time I could tell you the last time I got my hair done. Not to bring down the mood, but I got my hair done. I got my hair cut in December of last year for my brother's funeral. So that was the last time I got it cut. But before then, like years and years. And I really only got it done because I wasn't like loving the hair and I just kind of wanted a refresh. Like she cut like 4 or 5 inches off, not that much. But for the most part, I do actually cut it myself and just watch YouTube videos on how to do it. I'm not super picky with hair because hair can grow back. That's the great part about it. As long as you don't go too short and can't fix it, you can usually figure out something to fix it. So that's my philosophy with hair. I haven't dyed my hair since I was 16 because it's just too much maintenance and I don't feel like going through all that, re-dyeing my hair every 6 weeks, anything like that. As far as nails, I haven't also gotten my nails done in probably years. There was a time when I worked retail, again, like over 10 years ago. Gosh, how quickly you age. I used to get my nails done when I was like a little bit higher up on retail because I felt it was a little bit more business professional. But now I really do my own nails, and yeah, I have no need or want to do my nails in a salon. I'm quite happy, and I actually used to really be hyper fixated on nails. So if I wanted to, I could do gel on my nails. I can do acrylic on my nails. I don't, but I do actually know how to do it and have all the right tools to do it. Question 7 is, do you prefer long or short nails? This is kind of like my perfect length for me. I would say like a mid-length. This is almost getting like teetering too long. I've never had like really, really long nails like that long. I just think that that's impractical, but I don't love like down to the nub short nails. I will say most of the time my nails are shorter because I do live out in the countryside on a farm, or I go volunteer at a dog rescue very often. And for functionality, your nails just break. You have short nails. This is actually the longest my nails have been in a while, and I'm anticipating to break pretty soon. I do prefer like a natural nail. Again, like when I'll do gel sometimes because it's a little bit thinner, like a hard gel. But with acrylic, it just becomes a little bit tougher. And I'd rather have short nails than fiddle around with acrylics. If I was living in the city, if I had a job again, I would probably potentially get my nails done again because I just think it looks a little bit cleaner, nicer, more professional. And that's just kind of the style I like. But for now, I love experimenting with different colors, using my nail polish collection and just painting my nails. And yeah, to me, this is kind of like the perfect length. Question 8 is, which makeup brush brand is your favorite? This kind of came out of left field because I don't know if this is like a bougie question. I guess kind of, sorta. And I think my favorite makeup brush brand is BK Beauty. I find myself really gravitating towards those brushes on a day-to-day basis. I have brushes from kind of everywhere. BK Beauty, I have Singe brushes, I have Sonia G brushes. I can say that I use my BK Beauty brushes the most than my Singe Beauty brushes, but I only have eye brushes for them. I really do like the What's Up Beauty brushes, but they can be a little bit expensive. I'll only buy those when What's Up Beauty is doing a 40% off sale because they are natural hair brushes. Sonia G, though, I kind of just think is a little bit overrated. A lot of my Sonia G brushes I don't end up using. There's 2 or 3 that are like core brushes I use every single day from them, but I don't think they're necessary. I think I just use them because I like the shape and I have them in my collection already. If they were to disappear, I wouldn't repurchase them. I would just look for a similar shape from the BK Beauty line. I think they have really good quality brushes for the price that you're going to pay. But I do typically stay away from like the $2-3 brushes. And I don't think that you can't get good brushes from them. You definitely can. I have a few, but I do kind of think like brushes are a little bit more of an investment I'm willing to partake in because they last me so long. Like I have a MAC brush from when I was 18, 19 years old, and I'm 35 now. So I think if you take care of your brushes and actually clean them every once in a while, like they will last you a longer time. And I don't mind spending more of like the mid to higher range for them, but spending like the Sonia G prices, like I'm also just kind of over that right now. Only a couple questions left. The next one is question 9, which is high-end or drugstore mascara. Either. I can't remember the last time I bought a mascara. I have so many like free gift with purchases mascaras that I've been going through them for a long, long time. And until I run out of them, I'm just not going to buy a mascara. There's some high-end mascaras that I really, really like and I would love to repurchase. I tried the Chanel volume mascara once and I really loved that mascara. There's also drugstore mascaras that I think are fantastic. A lot of Maybelline mascaras are really, really good and work just as well. And then there's some mid-tier ones. I have purchased the Stila Huge Mascara. That's one that I've gone through several tubes of that I really enjoy. But until I go through all of my free ones, I'm not going to repurchase any. Again, if I had to repurchase one, it would probably be between like Maybelline and Stila. I would only purchase the Stila if it was on like the 21 Days of Beauty and it was half off or something. I wouldn't pay full price for it. And I definitely wouldn't purchase the Chanel, but I can say that I did actually like the Chanel. It's just, if the Maybelline does most of the same thing, like I'd rather just purchase a lower end mascara personally. Question 10, think of your favorite makeup brand. Is it drugstore, high-end, luxury, or indie? It's hard for me to pick a favorite makeup brand, but overall, I would say the bulk of my favorite makeup brands, plural, are indie. I just prefer indie eyeshadows, but I feel like it's also a little bit of a hard question to answer. And I am one of those like really annoying people where life is just not black and white. There's a ton of gray. And a lot of people can really hate that, but I don't feel like I can really give indie as like my solid answer because it is mostly eyeshadow and I don't own a foundation from an indie brand. I probably do own some complexion products, but nothing like substantial on the face products. So if I had to choose like a favorite brand that I felt like had a lot of everything, it probably, I don't really want to give like a super big answer and feel like it's going to come back and bite me if I say something about the brand or something, but it might be like Huda Beauty or something like that because I feel like they have good foundation, they have good cheek products, good lip products, good eyeshadow, like all encompassing brand. I think it would be Huda Beauty. I also, as far as drugstore, really enjoy Maybelline. That was one of like the first big brands I kind of really got into, and I think they have excellent foundations. But I think overall, like if I could only buy one makeup brand, it would probably be Huda Beauty, I think. So a mid-tier. Then question 11, the very last question is, considering your answers to these questions, do you think you're bougie? And this is actually part of why I wanted to do this tag, because I feel like I come across as maybe some people think I'm more bougie than I am. And I definitely think that I'm a little bougie, but I don't fully think I'm as bougie as maybe I'm like portrayed as, or as much as I come across as. But also like bougie is relative. Like to one person, they might see bougie as one thing, and to another person, it's not. From my perspective, like I don't consider myself bougie, just like a little bit bougie. I'm not someone who's like always going to buy thrift store clothes or, only buy drugstore or anything like that. I do like having nicer things, but I also value having a savings account. I also value like having money. So I don't want to spend everything that I have on just luxury products. And I think that like bumps me down on the bougie scale personally. But I would love to hear what you think if you consider myself a bougie or not person. I'm giving myself a 5 out of 10. A 6 out of 10. I'm giving myself a 6 out of 10. How about that? I think I lean a little bit more on the bougie side. But let me know what you think. Let me know where you fall on the bougie scale. And if you do this tag, make sure you link the original creator down below so that way we can give her credit. This was super fun. I enjoyed doing it. However, this is where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.